If survival games were real life, which one do you think you'd actually be able to survive? In today's video, I'm going to be ranking 5 survival game worlds around this concept, from doable to absolutely miserable to live in. And I can't say I'd stand much of a chance in any of them, but let's dive in. Starting at number 5, the most survivable on this list, we've got Green Hell. Now, let me make this clear. I do not think that surviving here would be easy by any means. Green Hell takes place in the Amazon rainforest. There are jaguars, caimans, venomous snakes, but a huge benefit of this location is that there are resources everywhere. Water, coconuts, fishing. As soon as you know what's safe to eat and can get together a decent shelter, you have the basics to actually be able to survive. The real challenge is whether you can survive long enough to learn the basics, what you can and can't eat, and how to avoid predators. Once you have those basics figured out, you're as close to safe as you can get. And compared to the rest of the games on this list, Green Hell gives you a lot to work with. It's an environment filled with dangers, but also opportunities. Number 4 is Project Zomboid. This is a very classic zombie apocalypse scenario. You against a ton of zombies. Initially, resources seem plentiful. You can loot nearby homes and businesses, stockpile food and supplies, but that's only initially, because as time passes, electricity and running water shut off, and you'll have to rely on your abilities to craft, gather resources, and fortify your base against the loads of zombies. And perhaps worst of all, it only takes one bite from a zombie to end everything. One small slip up or momentary distraction can be all it takes for a zombie to slip through. That alone would make this a very high stress and high risk situation. There's also the matter of isolation. If you truly were completely alone and had no companions, that could take a really intense toll on you. And honestly, that isolation and loneliness and lack of meaning could end up being much more dangerous to your well-being than even the zombies that are outside of your shelter. For number 3, we're going to talk about The Long Dark. Now, if you watch this channel, you know I spent a lot of time playing this game, surviving in the frozen Canadian wilderness, and surviving this game in real life, it would be brutal. Environmental hazards are turned up to 11 in this game. Freezing temperatures, whiteout blizzards, timber wolves, the list goes on and on and on. The hazards are easy to come by, but the things you need most, like warmth, very fleeting. What makes the world of this game especially brutal is that the longer you survive, the less plentiful your resources are in a certain area, forcing you to keep moving. And having to move all the time ensures that you stay exposed to all the hazards in this world. Like with Project Zomboid, I think surviving this could really challenge you to find a purpose or a meaning. Because with all the dangers around you, without something that you're living for, some reason to keep going, it would be really easy to just fade into the long dark. Number 2 is Grounded. Surviving in a backyard while you're the size of an ant might at first sound doable. I mean, it's a backyard. How bad could it be? Except that you need shelter, but you're trying to build it out of grass pieces. It's not going to be an easy task, and it's not going to happen quickly. And even if you do build a shelter and find some source of food and water, you have massive threats to deal with. This isn't a situation where you can just put the spider in a cup and take it outside, or whatever you do when there's a spider in your house. You are significantly smaller than the spider and any of the other predatory creatures, and it's on you to be able to defend yourself and to be able to survive any interaction with them. The role of Grounded would make us so vulnerable in a way that we've never really dealt with before. Now, the positive is that there are resources all over. Once you can find dewdrops or acorns or discarded food wrappers, you'd be living pretty good, but you'd have to get there first, and I know I wouldn't bet on me being able to do it. And at number 1, the most miserable survival game world to live through in real life, my pick is Sons of the Forest. Sure, there's food and loot and natural resources that you can use to fortify yourself, but at the end of the day, none of that really matters because the enemies in this world are relentless. You are surrounded by cannibals and mutants who are brutal, persistent, terrifying, and want you dead. Attacks are a guarantee. You're not wondering if they're gonna happen, you're wondering how bad it will be and when it will happen. Honestly, even with the best fortifications and tons of traps, they aren't discouraged. They will keep coming. The amount of anxiety that this would cause when you're anticipating the next attack, I think it would just be too much for me. Sons of the Forest would truly be miserable to try to live through. It would be a challenge at every new day. So that's my ranking of the misery that I think would come from trying to live in these survival game worlds. Is there a game world that you think would be even more miserable to try to survive in than Sons of the Forest? Let me know in the comments. And be sure to look out in the future for a sequel to this video where we'll dive into the worlds of games like Alien Isolation and Dead Space. If you like more content like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.